I'm a senior engineer, but I gave up the right path and chose to rob a bank. After the robbery, I had no intention of escaping. When the law enforcement arrived, I didn't resist at all. What was even more confusing was that in court, I didn't defend myself in the slightest. I only wanted to go to prison. When I heard I was sentenced to 25 years, a slight smile appeared on my face. Because the situation was so severe, I was placed in the same room with a death row inmate. She was to be executed by a firing squad in 7 days, but she couldn't wait that long and decided to commit suicide. I quietly watched as the death row inmate pressed a shard of glass to her carotid artery, but didn't stop her. It wasn't until the guards left that I rushed to embrace her. It turned out the death row inmate was my daughter. A few days ago, she had stabbed a wealthy second-generation man in self-defense, but because of his connections, she was sentenced to death. Although I had enough evidence to prove her innocence, the judge completely ignored it. The wealthy man even tore up the evidence and claimed the whole judicial system had to listen to him at that moment. I realized I couldn't seek justice for my daughter through normal channels, so I decided to take extreme measures. I was originally a top-tier architect, and I had designed this prison's blueprint 20 years ago. I was blacklisted online for exposing corruption in a project and had no choice but to open a small restaurant to make a living. To save my daughter, I found a tattoo artist and had the prison's map tattooed on my back. My only goal was to rescue my daughter. The only tool I needed was a screw. I spotted a rusted screw beneath a table, so I purposely knocked over a plate, and while the guards were cleaning up, I started unscrewing it. To cover for me, my daughter smeared hot porridge on her arm and begged the guards to take her to the doctor, worried about an infection. Her request was heartlessly rejected. A few seconds were enough for me to unscrew the screw. However, just as we were about to leave, a loud metal alarm went off. Several guns were aimed at my head. The detectors carefully scanned my body. The screw was hidden in my sock. Then I pulled out the iron chopsticks from my hair because I had anticipated this moment. I pretended the string in my hair had come undone and used the chopsticks to tie it back up. My explanation was reasonable, and I passed the security check smoothly. Once back, the first thing I did was to sharpen the screw into the shape I needed. At that moment, the mafia boss, who had been locked in solitary confinement, was released. She was second only to the warden in power in this place. Anyone who offended her didn't end up well, so I directly told her my plan, but she thought I was courting death and tried to drag her into it. She flatly refused and even said she would report me, but I had already investigated the mafia boss's background and knew that with her help, the chances of success in the escape would be greatly increased. So I revealed the situation of her daughter and told her that her daughter would soon die. Upon hearing this, the mafia boss was furious, thinking I was cursing her daughter. Without saying another word, she decided to kill me. At that moment, her husband came to visit. I asked her to wait until visiting hours were over to reconsider this time. He also brought a beautiful woman with him. Their wedding was in 3 days, but their daughter was terminally ill, and they didn't have the money for surgery, so she was about to die. The mafia